Hello dear, this time our topic is disintegration of USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or we can say disintegration of Second World. Before starting, let's clear it. USA and its allies were called First World. USSR was called Second World. NAM countries are called Third World. USSA and USSR, these were main two important powers during the Cold War era. USSR was formed in 1922 but got disintegrated in 1991. It was formed in 1922 but got disintegrated in 1991. That's our topic. Why it was disintegrated, what were the causes, what were the impacts, that we are going to decide today. Before starting, some important term we need to know is what are developed countries, developing countries, underdeveloped countries. Developed countries are those countries which have natural resources as well as technology. These are also called rich countries like America, USSR, even USA, China, Japan, etc. Developing countries are those countries which have natural resources but not advanced technologies, like India, Pakistan, etc. Underdeveloped countries are those countries which neither have resources nor they have technology, like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, etc. Now, USSR, which was formed in 1922, under basically before in 1917 Russian Revolution took place, which is also called a Bolshevik Revolution. Under Russian Revolution, 15 republics, 15 units, 15 states, which were basically socialist blocks, 4 socialist blocks, 15 republics and 20 autonomous units, joined and formed USSR in 1922. Those 15 republics were, you write down please, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Estonia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, Russia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, Uzbekistan. Russia was most powerful among all these 15 republics and it was controlling whole. So in 1922, these 15 units joined and formed USSR under the banner of socialism. Doctrine and the school of thought that was socialism, to restore socialism in the world, to come up with the policies of socialism. But in 1991, USSR was disintegrated. Socialism, in practically we can say socialism could not survive in a better way in the world. USSR could not become a hegemon, while as USA became hegemon, which was capitalist. But what were the main causes? We are going to discuss what were the causes that resulted why this USSR was disintegrated. Although being too much, it was formed with the revolution to the world. As a promise to the world that there will be revolution. But where this socialism was originated in and practiced in USSR, but it could not survive in 1922. USSR was formed in 1991. USSR was disintegrated. So what were the causes? The main causes are Confederation in USSR Constitution. In USSR Constitution, there was confederation. One is federation. Confederation is opposite to federation, federal structure. In confederation, units have also right to leave the center, while as in federation, units have no right to leave the center. So that is the main difference between confederation and federation. Involvement in Cold War. Since USSR was formed, there should have been efforts how this can be best example in the world, how USSR can be most developed, how there can be complete social justice with the citizens. But USSR wrongly got involved in Cold War with USA, so that became another reason for its disintegration. Socio-political unrest by the units. The units, these 15 units, there was not cooperation among the units. There were continuous unrest by the units that they wanted to leave the union. That also became another reason. Supremacy of capitalism. Since though capitalism was, Americans were more clever, they were more intelligent, they were more strategic as compared to USSR people, USSR leaders. So they tried to establish their supremacy on socialism with the result, and they succeeded. Americans succeeded. With the result, USSR was also disintegrated. That was also one of the reasons. Incompetence and incapability of USSR President Mikhail Gorbachev. We can say always leaders play an important role for keeping any country active or dominant in world politics. The USSR President Mikhail Gorbachev was not competent to resist these unrests, to resist these problems, to maintain a unity. He failed while doing so. So that became another reason for disintegration. Most of the units demanded liberation. Most of the units demanded liberation from the union. That was another reason that USSR was disintegrated. So now USSR was disintegrated, a big union, but there were definitely impacts on the world politics. What were those impacts? There were many impacts on the world politics, on the international politics. But some main important impacts are, the first impact, you write down, please write down. Why? End of Cold War. So first impact was when USSR was disintegrated in 1991, Cold War ended. Because the period from 1945 to 1991, there was Cold War between USA and USSR. This was a war between two ideologies. So when USSR was disintegrated, Cold War was ended. End of bipolarity. When there were two power blocks in the world politics, USA and USSR, which emerged post Second World War era. But when USSR was disintegrated, bipolarity was ended in world politics. So unipolarity was started in world politics. That is hegemony of one country now. Hegemony of two countries was replaced by hegemony of one country in world politics. Starting of unipolarity, that's already done. Supremacy of capitalism, supremacy of USA. So when socialism could not survive, USSR could not survive. So there was definitely supremacy of capitalism in the world politics, supremacy of USA. Shock therapy to international politics. Very, very important consequences of disintegration of USSR. Shock therapy to international politics. Let us define first what is shock therapy. Shock therapy in international politics is defined as a sudden change, a overnight change in foreign policy of some states. When earlier they were advocating the policy of socialism, but even immediately after the disintegration, those states adopted the policy of capitalism. So this was a shock. There were some countries which are called Balkan republics, Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia, which were first the members of USSR. So they were advocating the policy of socialism in the world politics. But when immediately after the disintegration they adopted the policy of capitalism, so this is shock therapy to the world politics. So this is one of the main consequences, shock therapy, something which is shocking and surprising. Formation of new states. New states were formed. Definitely when 15 republics disintegrated, new states were formed. Change of economic policies of USSR. So USSR's economic policies were changed because when it disintegrated, policies were changed. Change in international relations. There were many changes in the international relations. There was next point, economic loss to USSR. Supremacy of capitalism. Changing scenario of international politics. And formation of Balkan republics, Balkan states. State of Estonia, Lithuania and Latvia are together called Baltic republics or Balkan states. Lithuania first in 1990 declared itself as an independent country, was followed by Latvia and Estonia. And there was some another formation of the states, that is Central Asian states. 5 states: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. These are collectively called as Central Asian states. They were created. And one of the most important state, that is Russia. Russia became the successor of USSR in the world politics. What does that mean? USSR was the permanent member in the Security Council of UNO. So that seat was replaced, that was succeeded, yes, by Russia. So Russia became the member in the Security Council of UNO. In international politics, wherever USSR was having some membership in any form, that was inherited to Russia. So Russia inherited the status of USSR in world politics. It became a complete successor of USSR in the world politics. So in nutshell, in conclusion, we can say USSR, which was formed USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, which is also called the Second World, which was formed in 1922, was disintegrated in 1991, having tremendous impacts on world politics, having very shock. It was a shock therapy for world politics, but finally it was disintegrated, and there was US proved to be hegemon with its disintegration, but Russia became its successor in world politics. Have a nice time.